Alright guys, welcome back to the second half of the interview with ChairGTables. I have to mention a couple of things about the interview first that are important to know. Number one, we end up getting interrupted a couple of times, and as a result, there's a couple of cuts that you'll see. And also, we end up sort of perhaps prematurely dropping some topics after we come back from the cuts, so yeah, that's just how it is. We were also running out of time, so there was that too. Another thing to know is that my mic has trouble picking up a couple of the things we say during certain sections, and so during those sections, you'll see subtitles as well as some bad audio, because we have like a second computer recording us as well, and the audio quality from that second computer isn't that good as my mic, so that's just how it's going to be as well. I think what happened was, because we got interrupted so much, we started to keep our voices down, because we didn't want to disturb some of the people who had come into the house, basically. And it was kind of unconscious. I didn't even notice I was talking quieter, but it was kind of this unconscious thing, yeah, so that sucked. Yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, enjoy the interview. We talk about a couple of things. We talk about what Chair did in college, you know, how Chair approaches game design, as well as advice that he has for aspiring game developers, so enjoy.
So it's not until 5th grade where, like I said, he just created a game called Stick Figure Returns. And then he asked, you know, I said, it looks so cool, I want to learn how to make games too.
Okay.
So he taught me how to make games, and like all the time we would get together and just make any random game.
Okay. Where did the Stick Figure return from? Return to
Stick Figure Returns, you know, it's just the title. It's a title of the game, the first game we ever made. It's just a game where it's you know, that popular guy's head on a stick figure, and you just shoot lasers out of your nipples. Okay. Or, well, in the instruction manual we spelled it nimple. Nimple. Yeah, it's called nipple zap.
We're pretty far apart, the M and the P key. I'm just looking at my keyboard right now.
You just, if you read all of the instruction manuals from games we made in elementary school, there's so much wrong grammar and spelling.
I guess it's pretty forgivable if you're at that age. Okay, so 5th grade, like, so he makes this game, so he's got some, I guess, background a little bit in how to do that stuff. And then you see it, you get interested. I want to make this too, and then ever since then, he was teaching you stuff, and like.
Yeah.
And you're making games together. And then, I believe that, if I remember correctly, that continued into, like, did you go to the same high school and stuff like that?
Oh, no. Okay, so what happened was, we kind of got separated from each other somewhere along middle school. Middle school. So, somewhere around middle school, he left my school, and he went to a different school.
Okay.
And then, you know, we still try to meet each other. Like, we always keep going to each other's house, and we kept making games.
I would never.
And what I did was, I'm like, oh, all right, so let's make, like, okay, so before Lame Dimension, we called it Stick Figure Returns Team. It's not until middle school where we called it Lame Dimension.
Okay.
And we were almost toilet games.
Is that why you called it Lame Dimension?
We were almost Toilet Games was one of our candidates for what should be the team's name.
We were almost Toilet Games. Yeah, Toilet Games would I don't know. Like Lame Dimension, at least it sounds kind of cool, but Toilet Games.
But Lame Dimension, like, I broke it down. Lame Dimension stands for leaders at making everything, and we're like, oh, that's so cool. Yes. So we stuck to that, and then what we did.
Why did you scrap Toilet Games?
Huh?
Why did you scrap Toilet Games?
Doesn't sound as cool.
Okay, yeah.
And one of our intentions back then was, if we sound bad, we can make it cool.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, it's like, we're telling other people we're lame, they'll feel bad for us and give us a try.
You're getting pity. You're trying to get pity out of people.
It's such a weird strategy, but if you think about it nowadays, that doesn't work. If you sound mopey, people are not gonna pay attention to you sometimes.
Unless they're super charitable, but that's not a lot of people. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
and so you're keeping in touch by like just going to each other's houses
like because you left your middle school at some point.
Yeah,
and then after
we kept doing that, and then we kind of did like some sort of, all right, let's grow lame dimension in our schools. So so I kind of formed like a small people to help out with the games from my school, and he's formed like a small team of people from his school.
Okay.
We just kind of worked on that with each other.
Oh, okay.
And then, sadly, like, so high school passed. We finished Final Flames 1.
Final Flames 1. Okay.
At the end of first year high school. And then... I feel like that was our magnum opus. We started Final Flames 2. Okay. I finished all the bosses.
All the bosses?
All the bosses.
All the bosses.
And then I'm like, we can't continue anything else unless you do something. And I think this is when his interest of game development was fading off.
Yes.
And, you know, we keep doing, like, side projects from time to time. And then...
But he just wasn't into it.
And then, you know, by the end of high school, I was like, yo, I'm gonna leave to America
to study.
So this separation was even worse now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, by the time middle of college, that's when you know he lost interest.
Yeah.
And he just gave it to me. It's pretty sad, but I don't know if I'm even like completely over this, because I think about it all the time.
It's like what, 6 years ago or something.
One of my faults. It's one of my faults too that he lost interest.
Oh really? Okay.
You're like you know, he was going through some depression phase.
Some stuff, yeah.
And I just wasn't there. I became like so much of a workaholic.
Okay.
That you know, every time I contact him, all he thinks is he's just contacting me so we can make progress. So you know, the friendship didn't like feel genuine.
Okay, like it was literally the friendship, like your relationship was literally making games at the point, like almost like coworkers or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we were the closest friends ever. Like even until today, like I've never had like a friendship
as strong as that one,
as strong as this one.
Yeah.
I've never experienced it. But then I kind of botched it because I've gotten so focused in game development that I forgot like the friendship aspect of it.
Right.
Which is like one of my biggest regrets. That's why, you know, the current lame dimension thing.
Yeah.
It's still like, you know, I treat it like a business kind of thing. But one of the reason why I keep it like so much of an indie culture on it, and like, you know, it's like more of a friend hangout, is because of this, like.
Because of what happened before, like it's like a lesson you learned where it's just like I gotta keep things like I gotta be close with these people, and I make sure I'm there for them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so, what's he doing now? Wait,
I don't know. That's the thing. Like I don't see any activity from him online anymore.
Oh, okay.
And like there was like a long period where I try to you know, send messages to him, but I don't get anything. And then, you know, nowadays I'm actually afraid to send a message. I'm actually pretty scared. Like, what do I do?
Like, what do you even say or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. There was a slight interruption. All right. Okay. So during high school you're making games, but after that, when you're picking like your major for like going to university, was it like instantly game development?
No, it was computer science.
Computer science, okay.
Because my plan actually was
to be a Jeep rider.
It was to do computer science, so I can become like, you know, software engineering for general stuff.
Okay, like
that's supposed to be my job. But
why was that like your first like choice then?
Was that my first choice? Well, I just feel like it's easier to get a job this way.
Okay, so it's a very practical decision. Okay.
It feels more generalized, so I would learn more towards the programming side, but I don't know. I feel like it didn't really help me as much because I only can remember like the first few years of my college.
That's the thing about school and college that I never really liked. It was like, I'm not gonna remember like 75% of this, but when you were in high school, was game development ever like in your head as like a job that you would do?
Yes.
Okay. But then and then you made the practical choice of getting into computer science, and then so you're in college. Yeah, you're studying computer science. Is that like were you enjoying it at the time, or like?
I hate school.
You hate
so
school.
much.
Yes.
I
can relate.
Okay, here's the thing. When I was in high school, I was actually top 10 in my class.
Top 10, okay.
I focused so much on my studies, like if I don't get an A, I actually get pissed off about myself.
Oh, so it's like almost like a competitive thing or something like that with yourself, or
with myself,
or high standards.
But when I went to college, it was, I just didn't feel smart. Like
compared to everyone else, or
no, like everyone's smart.
Okay,
Everyone's smart, and like my first semester, I was able to maintain a GPA of 4.0.
Yeah.
And then the next semester, like when I went to the next level of computer science, I'm like, this is hard, and I realized that I can't maintain all A's all the time. And that's when I kind of fell through. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I started, not caring much about my grades anymore. I wanted to get into competitive, playing games competitively.
Yes.
I've spent more time on that, and then I wanted to start creating more games.
Were you skipping class and like going to play games or something like that?
Well, not really play games. I actually skipped class just to make games.
Just to make games. Okay.
Yes. That's true. I skipped class just to make more progress.
Just to make more progress in games, okay. Wait, was fighting games still something that you were doing in high school, or was it just game development you're doing in your free time?
I did both.
You did both, okay. And so and then you get to college, you're like, I like this is really difficult, I'm losing interest in school, start to skip classes, and then you start getting more and more into game development and just playing like fighting games and stuff like that. Like, did you have any inkling at the time though that because Chair's mentioned this before, he's so busy. Did you have any idea at the time that it would be all game development would be all consuming and stuff like that?
I didn't expect it to be super time consuming.
Yeah. I feel like stuff like that I learned at some point projects like that, or personal passion projects, anything like that. Like when I make the YouTube videos, it's surprisingly time consuming. Like it's not. I'm not trying to say it's hard. It's just it's a lot of time that you have to put into it. Yeah.
Because before, it didn't feel that time consuming, because before we always kept doing funny projects.
Yeah.
Funny
Small
projects.
Stuff, yeah.
We just take images online. It sounds online.
Yeah.
But now doing more original stuff. We actually make the sprites.
Yes.
We actually do proper planning. And we actually this doesn't feel right. Let's try to fix this and make it feel more smoother.
Yeah, okay.
So we actually care more about the quality now. So it's more time consuming for us.
Did you change your major then to?
No.
No, you kept computer science. Okay.
Yeah, I kept doing computer science. But here's the funny thing: I thought computer science was so hard. So there's actually no game design major in college. So there's
I should have asked that. Yeah.
There's only a minor for that.
Minor, okay.
Okay, so one in the middle of college, I was like, this is so hard. I don't think I'm cut for this. I considered changing my major and just learn programming in my own time. Okay. But then I was like, there's nothing else I'm interested in. So I just kept doing it.
Right.
I did my best to pass as much as I can, which I did in the end. And I said, I'm gonna push for the game design minor, and then I found out I have to do 7 classes at my last semester if I want to do that, or do one more semester. I'm like, never mind. So I was literally one credit away from getting the game design minor, but I just didn't want to.
Yeah. As long as you got a portfolio, I imagine that's stronger.
Because I was like, I don't know. I feel like what I create says more about my skill than
a resume or something, or not a resume,
than a minor.
Yeah, like some sort of paper, degree or something like that that says something. Yeah. Wait, so when you were cutting classes though, and was game design a form of stress relief, or were you thinking? Did you have this fantasy of screw this, I'm gonna do game design, and I'll keep doing that. I'll make a living out of it.
It's some sort of it's some sort of decision of, all right, I'm gonna skip class so I can spend more time on something that I want to do. it's also thinking about how much time I have left.
Okay. All right. So after that, okay. So you get out of college, and then you're making games and stuff like that. And then would you say that you have like a I guess what we're doing is like a style or some sort of, or at least like certain like principles that you try to maintain when you're making a game. Just to give people a sense of like what your games are like.
The style that I try to push is something that's pretty easy and accessible to play.
Okay.
But is actually deeper in a competitive sense. Okay, so it's something like, you could easily beat, like anyone could easily beat doing the most basic things.
Okay.
But if you play it in other ways, there's like so much more depth in it. Like for example, Super Ledgehop, you could actually beat it without doing the rhythm mechanic. Or barely doing the absorb mechanic.
Okay.
You could still beat it that way, but you could do all sorts of text that makes the game like so much. There's so much technical things into it. Wave shining, it means you could absorb the bullets faster. You can cancel your special move into wave shining to make your movements a lot faster.
Right.
And final flames, you can beat it by just pressing the basic attack button all the time. But there's more into it. If you do a smash attack, you can jump out of it. Like for example, if you do a Naira's slide move, you can jump cancel out of it and then do an aerial attack, and then you can push them away with your close melee attack, and then continue the combo by doing shots and then canceling the shots with a dash cancel. There's a lot into it than you think.
Right, like so it's like you have like this predilection for like hidden mechanics that came from fighting games. I believe like your background in fighting games.
Well, not that much. It's just some sort of thing that I got from some people like playing like some of my games, and they're like really confused on what to do, and I'm like, this might be too hard, so I always try to.
No, I mean like the level of hidden mechanics. I mean.
Oh, the level of hidden mechanics.
The level of, or like the interest. In
It's more like from fighting games.
Yeah,
like
fighting games. Yeah.
You could just play fighting games just by. Okay, rival schools. When I was like I don't know, 5-7 years old, my favorite thing to do is just press X, just kick, and I can beat the first level just by kicking. That's it. But there's so much more than that.
yeah. And so
it's from Melee too.
Yeah.
Like wave shining, that's never explained anywhere.
Yeah.
Wave dashing, wave shining, ledge hop, double laser, that's not in the game. But you can do that from the mechanics of the game.
In terms of the aesthetics of like your games, and actually, because you're the programmer, like is that handled? Do you leave that in the hands of like the art people, like portion of your team?
Oh, you mean the art aesthetic?
Yeah. The feel and the look of the game, like that. Is that something like is there like a principle or pillar there for you, or is it just like you guys are better at doing this stuff? I'll leave it to you.
Oh, I just let them do what they want.
Yeah.
I always say, just do this. You can do anything what you want with it. Just have fun and make it silly.
Yeah. Was that something like is that because like some sort of advice that you got, or was that just something that you decided like, or was that just something you just came to by yourself?
Like what?
Like letting people, because that's the advice I always hear from like whether it's game development or making movies. It's like giving, if you have to work with a team, it's really good to give your team as much input and stuff like that. Like a lot of this one guy said, if a really great writer for a movie, what he does is he writes the movie and he casts, and then everyone else handles the rest of the movie. Like the actors portray the actors kind of how they want, maybe with some direction, and then the cinematographer like sets up the shots and everything like that.
It's kind of like that because I've heard like some people working in some industries, and they've been telling me, it's like, I kind of don't like what I'm doing. So what I did was, I kind of just want to let them do things that they want to do, because like I said, I kind of wanted to keep the feeling of yay, we're all friends making something.
We're all doing this together.
I know it's not a really good business practice to be all friendly with each other, but this is what's fun. I want people to keep having fun doing it. Like,
yeah, and I feel like if you get into something like game development or any creative industry, I think people just get into it because they want to either express themselves or they want to create something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you just got like this boss saying like, no, that's not what I had in my head. Do it again or something like that. Like I can see how that can be kind of like like suffocating, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, because that's how I think of like, you know, how it was back then. Because I was
back in the day or something.
Okay. I was being so
in high school. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
High school, middle school. I feel like I'm too bossy, and you know, I'm always
kind of a tyrant or something like that.
If you're able to find the Old Lame Dimension Facebook group, you can see me making a lot of posts, getting mad why people are not doing this.
I think I used to be like that too.
And
when I was younger.
And now I'm just you know, if people can finish in time, I try my best to help out, even though it's in a department that I'm not good at, or I ask someone else who's like, hey, can you spare some time to help out this person?
Right.
And if I say like, are you not feeling like it? Do you want to try something else? So I assign if you know they're getting a bit, you know, something feels like repetitive, I try to assign something else.
You're very empathetic with your team, is what you try to be.
I just want people to have fun. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Like, I try not to make the project about me, but about the team as well.
I feel like ultimately that's like a good thing. I feel like there's like a thing where maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but like because it's kind of assuming things, but people have this idea who don't do this, right? That you should have this guy, and he has this vision, this specific vision, and what's artistic is following that vision through. Like everyone does what he says, or something like that. And that's how you make the best product. But I feel like maybe that works in some places. I feel like in Japan that's kind of a thing, maybe. But like where the vision, the creator's vision is just and it's sort of honored or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, like, you know, it's not like you should accept like everything at once. Like for example, sometimes when me and Sylvie discusses about music, sometimes she feels like, yo, this is the music I created, and I sometimes think this doesn't really feel the way that I thought it would feel like.
Okay.
So I would tell her, like, you know, maybe try to set it up this way instead.
Right. So there's kind of a balance, it seems like, right? Where you want everyone to have their input and their creativeness, but I guess, like, a head is good for making sure everything's consistent. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's got to be a little bit of a vision, because if everyone's just doing their own thing, like, you know, and it doesn't come together in the end.
It can become like a bundle of mess.
Yeah. So it's like there's, I guess the best way to put it is that you have to be I guess compromise might be the best word to put it, or something like that, where you kind of bring everyone's thing together, but hopefully under at least a vague vision of something.
One of the saddest decisions I made recently with you know, balancing something was when Danny RG like made some of the Hazuki sprites for the Hazuki game.
Okay.
And you know, we're like running out of time. And I know Chainton is able to do character sprites in a faster pace than Danny. So, because Danny is faster when it comes to environmental art and tiles, and Chainton does character, you know, sprites faster.
Okay. So they have their own specialties almost.
So the saddest compromise I had to do was scrap Danny's sprites and make Danny start working on the tiles and other stuff.
Okay, yeah. That's gotta be hard.
Chain redo the sprites. But yeah, that was like a really heartbreaking thing.
Wait, did it hurt more because you were trying to be close with everyone and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It really hurt me. Danny was sad just a little, but he said he understands it from a professional point. But I keep telling him, you know, don't you know, even though we're not gonna use this mainly anymore, I'll still try to find it because it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks really good, and I just don't want to put it to waste.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use it somewhere, but you know, it cannot be the main sprites anymore because you know Chain Titan has a different style, and you know this style was only used for one character, so you know,
to keep it consistent.
To keep it consistent with the rest,
yeah,
I had to scrap it. But yeah, that's like big sacrifices that I had to do.
Do you see yourself still doing like game development 10 years from now?
Yes.
10 years from now. You keep going.
Yes. Of course.
Okay, good, okay.
Now, I think I'll do this until I die.
Until you die, okay. This is gonna be like the thing. This is your career.
Yeah, even if you see me in the hospital before I die, this is the last thing I'm gonna...
You're gonna have like a laptop working on something.
Yeah.
And so I think, Chair mentioned this to me before, but he's gonna keep doing the indie thing. He likes it. He likes the small groups and stuff like that. Okay. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
All right. The biggest advice for new game developers is...
Oh, this is a good one.
Don't... Just... As much as you have a big vision for games, try not to get too passionate about it.
Okay.
Because if you have something big in your mind and then you realize that it's way beyond your skill, it's pretty easy to give up on your dream. So have your big dreams, but have smaller dreams to work on that will help you continue up to your big dream.
Right.
Because it's actually going to be in your favor. It's actually going to be in your favor if you work up continually to improve your skill set, that you could actually handle your big dreams in the future.
Yeah.
It's gonna pay off and have a better result in the end.
Yeah, like work on your fundamentals, guys. Work on the basics.
Work on your fundamentals. See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to fighting games.
Yeah.
So in fighting games, before when I was younger, all I cared about was zoning and doing combos.
Combos, yeah.
But I keep losing even though I could do all those really long combos.
Yeah.
Why? Because my fundamentals aren't good. I keep approaching the opponent the same way. They could easily anti-air me or catch me in some other way, and I just don't know how to approach anymore. So learn your fundamentals.
Yeah.
Then you can improve your playstyle with all the fancy combos.
Get your foundation going. Mm-hmm. I think that's really great advice to end on. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
All right.
I'm gonna pack up quick.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that interview. I did. I had fun conducting it. I've always thought it'd be cool to do interviews and stuff like that. I'd fantasize about it. So this was a nice way to sort of cut my teeth on it with someone I know. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The next day after the interview, me and Chair hung out. We went to karaoke. We also played Soku, which he destroyed me in because I don't play Soku. We also played Phantasmagoria Flower View, which I did very well in. Which I played that game for like a year straight. So if I didn't do well, I'd be a very sad man. Just put it that way. Yeah. Also, we played, what was it? Twinkle Star Sprites. That was my first time playing that game. That was a lot of fun too. I think that was the game that Phantasmagoria Flower View was based on. Anyway, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys learned something from that. If you want to check out some of Chair's games, I'll have a link to his website in the description below, as well as his Twitter, as well as my Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter, guys, or just check out my Twitter page if you like, whatever you like. Whatever. Have a good day, boys and girls, and whoever else is watching, robots, cats.